San Francisco, renowned for its iconic Golden Gate Bridge, bustling Fisherman's Wharf, and the vibrant culture of its diverse neighborhoods, was teeming with life as usual. Tourists snapped skyline photos, tech entrepreneurs hurried to their next big meeting, and street performers entertained crowds in Union Square. Yet, amid the city's hustle and bustle, whispers of strange incidents began to surface. Unusual attacks in the Mission District, inexplicable disappearances near the Presidio. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Ramirez, a virologist at UCSF, reviewed alarming data about a rapidly mutating virus, unaware that these seemingly isolated events were harbingers of an unimaginable horror soon to engulf the city. It started quietly in the dimly lit back alleys of the Mission District, where an unassuming homeless man, later identified as Carlos Mendoza, was found frantically attacking passersby. Witnesses described his glassy eyes and guttural growls as something out of a nightmare. As emergency responders rushed to the scene, similar reports began to flood in from other parts of the city. In Chinatown, a bustling market turned into chaos when an elderly shopkeeper lunged at a customer, biting and clawing with inhuman strength. The police were overwhelmed with calls, but the scope and scale of the incidents were only beginning to reveal themselves. Meanwhile, in the upscale Marina District, a jogger on Crissy Field suddenly convulsed and attacked a nearby couple, spreading panic among the Saturday morning crowd. It was too late when the authorities started piecing together the pattern. The outbreak spread rapidly through the densely populated neighborhoods of Soma and Tenderloin. Dr. Elena Ramirez, who had been tracking the virus, worked frantically in her lab at UCSF, racing against time to understand the pathogen. Public transit ground to a halt as Mooney and BART stations became hotbeds of infection, trapping countless commuters underground. The city's iconic landmarks, from the ferry building to Alcatraz Island, quickly turned from tourist destinations to scenes of horror as the once vibrant city spiraled into chaos. As the situation spiraled out of control, the mayor declared a state of emergency, prompting the National Guard to mobilize and establish a command center at Fort Mason. Soldiers set up barricades along major thoroughfares like Market Street and Van Ness Avenue, attempting to stem the flow of infected individuals into safer zones. Despite their efforts, the zombies' relentless assault overwhelmed the hastily erected defenses. At the iconic Lombard Street, known for its steep, winding turns, a military convoy was ambushed, leaving vehicles overturned and soldiers fighting for their lives against a relentless horde. The normally bustling Embarcadero, now eerily deserted, became a front line, with troops desperately trying to protect the ferry building, a key evacuation point for those trying to escape the city by water. Despite the valiant efforts of the National Guard, the infection spread faster than containment measures could be implemented. The chaos was palpable in Union Square, where a makeshift triage center struggled to treat the wounded amid constant attacks. At the Moscone Center, initially set up as a refuge, scenes of panic erupted as zombies breached the perimeter, turning the shelter into a death trap. As the sun set over the Golden Gate Bridge, its once picturesque view was marred by the desperate last stand of a platoon trying to hold back the advancing undead. Communications faltered, and with each passing hour, the city's fall seemed inevitable. The realization dawned that San Francisco was not just battling an outbreak, but fighting for its very survival. With the initial containment efforts failing, the National Guard devised a bold new plan to regain control of San Francisco. Utilizing the natural barriers of the city, they aimed to establish secure zones by fortifying key locations such as the Financial District, Nob Hill, and Golden Gate Park. Soldiers erected robust defenses around these areas, converting buildings into strongholds and using heavy artillery to create bottlenecks at strategic points like the entrance to Golden Gate Park and the intersections of major streets. The plan was to draw the zombies into these choke points and eliminate them en masse. However, as the hordes grew larger and more coordinated, the military's strategy quickly unraveled. Zombies, driven by an insatiable hunger, piled up against the barricades, eventually breaching the defenses. Troops stationed in the area fought valiantly, but their ammunition and resources dwindled rapidly. On Nob Hill, Grace Cathedral was transformed into a makeshift command center with snipers on its towers, picking off zombies below. Despite these efforts, the overwhelming numbers proved too much. The infected swarmed the hill, and soldiers were forced to retreat through the labyrinthine streets. In Golden Gate Park, a large-scale battle erupted as the military attempted a decisive stand. Artillery fire and airstrikes were called in, but the chaos and destruction only added to the carnage. As night fell, it became clear that the zombies had overrun even the most fortified positions. The National Guard, outnumbered and outgunned, was forced to abandon their posts, leaving the surviving citizens of San Francisco to fend for themselves in a city now fully under the control of the undead. As dawn broke over a city in ruins, pockets of survivors emerged from their hiding places, determined to find a way out or carve a new existence amidst the chaos. Amid the devastation, a beacon of hope flickered in the form of Dr. Elena Ramirez's discovery. Holed up in a secret lab beneath UCSF, she and a small team of scientists had developed a potential countermeasure to the zombie virus, a serum that could prevent the infection from taking hold. Though it was too late to save San Francisco, the serum offered a lifeline to the uninfected and a glimmer of hope for the future. I would like to know your opinion on this story. Should I continue making narrations? I read you in the comments.